I can be an anxious person too. And it may not seem like it, but it's like I can be anxious in like social situations. And I feel like the older I get, actually,
it makes me naturally awkward. I'm just like, I'm just awkward because I'll be anxious.
Yeah, no, so it's like I'm anxious and I'm awkward and now I'm sweating so
exactly.
hard. You know what I mean? Like, that's what my whole thing is. I'm like, okay, I'm going to make everybody else uncomfortable because I'm uncomfortable too. But it's like, when I would have all these things like going on in my mind, like thoughts racing, what really helped me for me is like, I have to catch up with myself. Like I need to go get alone by myself and sit and think about what it is that just happened. Because I'm the type of person, I process things later. Where something happens, I'm like, it's not a big deal, it's not a big deal, it's not a big deal. And then I'm like, it is a big deal,
right.
you know? But it's like days later, somebody will say something to me a week later, I'm like, wait, this is what I should have said. And then I'm mad at myself because I didn't say it. You know?
I see that so much.
This is how I used to handle my problems, you know? Like, delay, nope, not doing it, you know? And then it's like, just having moments to just like sit. I'm like, if I can like just sit and think about the whole thing and really be like, okay, I feel this way because of this. It reminds me of that saying, it's a bad day, not a bad life. I'm feeling anxious right now. I'm not an anxious person. You know what I mean? And knowing that, okay, this is just this situation. It's not how my life usually unfolds, but that takes time to really process your feelings. I'm a feeling processor, and I don't necessarily always need to process it with somebody else. I need first to process it within myself, and then I take it to God, and then I can take it to my friends. That's my process.
I was looking at something earlier today, and it was, I don't know when they had this video. It was with Wendy Williams and Dr. Oz. I
Today.
It was today? Okay. Oh, and he was explaining what anxiety was, and he was like, anxiety is when people build up walls to protect themselves in a sense, but those walls, they think they're protecting themselves, but in a sense it turns into a cage. And it's more of a cage because it's almost like someone who's trapped in like a closet or a small space and they can't get out of it, you know, and that's what happens. But you have to learn how to face things. Once you start facing things little by little, it gets better. If you don't face things, it's not going to help. Like, for example, even this type of stuff, you know, like for me naturally be like, I don't want to do this, you know, I don't want to expose parts of myself or whatever, but you have to. Once you start doing it, you get so used to it. It's so crazy because it's like, naturally I'm an anxious person, but it's like I'll be facilitating meetings or talking to people and they're like, no, you're not. I am. You know, it happens to everybody, but you just have to face things. Once you start facing things, it gets better.
I always say, admit that you have a problem. Even if it's anxiety, admit that, okay, I'm an anxious person. Now, what could I do to fix it? You know, what can I do about it? What can I do to make myself a better person? And I think in life, we should always strive to be better.
Right.
You know? So, and that's what I do. So
I like to call that, you know, calling things by its name. Calling things that hurt by its name. You know, if this hurts my feelings, saying this hurts my feelings, and what's the this is, or you did this thing and I did not like it, and just putting a name to something. Because when anxiety,
you have to tell people how you feel. If you don't tell, that's why I'm very straightforward. Sometimes it won't come out right. Whatever it is, what it is, you're gonna get it. That's how I am. But sometimes you just have to be blunt with people. Some people can't handle the truth, but that's how you feel. If it's really bothering you, you have to let people know.
Especially in relationships. To get back to that, I feel like my detriment in my relationships, most of the time I was a sweeper under the rugger. Like, it's okay. Like I said before, how I deal with things. It's okay. It's not okay. You know, where it's like, I don't know where I heard this, but it's like anytime you're talking to somebody and you tell them you always do this, that's a problem. That means you're holding on to it. That means you were keeping count, and then you just decided. And I know in a lot of my relationships, I'm like, you always like show up late, or you always I'm not, even though I'm upset about this current time, I'm not talking about this current time. You know, I'm talking about all those other times where I should have said something and I didn't. You know, so, and I think that comes with anxiety.
And anxiety comes out in different ways, because for some people it's, oh, your heart's beating fast, you feel nervous or whatever.
I swear,
for other
makes
people,
my stomach hurt.
For me, it's like my heart just starts beating fast, and it's like I want to get out of this uncomfortable situation, or I just start having a bunch of thoughts. It's like a light switch just goes off. It's like and it's like someone could be talking. It won't stop, but you want it to stop, but it won't stop.
Your body literally thinks it's about to die.
And then for some other people, it's anger. Literally, they might be feeling that way, but they turn to be such an aggressive person, you know? So it affects people differently. And I forget that saying. I always forget the sayings, but there's a saying where they talk about being kind to people because you just don't know what they're going through. So even for me, I try to just, you know, someone I might not agree with them all the way, but you don't know what they're dealing with in their real life, or you don't know what mental health issues they might have, you know. So sometimes it's just good to just be kind to people in general. I mean, I'm not saying be nice, but just don't be judgmental or hateful to people around you.
Yeah, you never know what people's going through.
Right, you may be that last word that they needed to be like, yep, I'm gonna go home and kill myself.
Oh my gosh.
I
mean, that's not funny at all. Yeah.
It happens, you know?
It's true.
It actually does happen.
It
has
happens.
happened in a lot of...
Yes, it'll be that one last word that was like that was the breaking point for them.
Right.
And if you do see that, if you do see someone who has those symptoms, you know, talk to them and tell them that they do have help. There is a crisis center that you can go to. There are people that you can talk to. You can even call 911 and ask what's the number for the crisis center, or Google it, or you can say, hey, I just need to talk to somebody. I'm not feeling right, or I'm not feeling well.
And I would say even staying with the person as long as they're not a danger to you or themselves, you know, not passing the ball like, oh, somebody else will say something to them, you know. But if you see somebody who's normally in a great state of mind, you know, just change. There's nothing wrong with actually sitting somebody down and not being like weird about it, but just be like, are you okay? Are you okay goes a long way sometimes.
I think sometimes you need to be like, I mean, I think we learned about this working in the mental health field. Be blunt. Like, I asked my friend straight up, are you suicidal? Like, and you'll be stunned and amazed how many times people tell you yes. And not trying to skip around it. Be honest and be straight up. And they'll tell you, I am feeling suicidal. I ask my patients that straight up. And it used to be hard for me to ask somebody that, you know. But now I'm like, are you having suicidal thoughts? You know, are you that down that you want to kill yourself? Like, how will you kill yourself if you do? You know, you have to be.
People have a plan.
Yeah, they have a plan. And you be stunned and amazed. So sometimes it's good to just be blunt and honest. And then it's not for everybody to, you know, just realize that, you know, you might not be the person to talk to somebody with. And I feel
sometimes
like
you have to. There are some people that you
trained
just
professional.
Maybe it's a trigger for you, and you just should not be around.
Yeah,
and then
especially if it's like
you have to be trained. Sometimes you have to be trained to know how to talk to somebody who's having depression, who's suicidal. Yeah, because sometimes you could say something and make them commit suicide.
And thinking that you're saying the right thing. Like, you know what? One day you are going to be with your grandma. It's like, that day's going to be today.
Right.
You know?
Right. Exactly. So. Yeah, I think it's important for you, like, realize what you can and cannot do. Every battle is not your battle, and make sure you have resources to send your friends and family to, or even if you don't know anything else, you call 911. The police will send you to the hospital. The hospital has all the resources that they need to provide you with. So that's my take from it. If you don't know any suicide hotline or crisis intervention numbers or any of that, if you call 911, police will take them to a safe place. It's not everybody's battle.
Right. And mind you guys, the three of us do have a background in mental health, but we are not doctors. No, we are not, I am not a licensed practitioner. We have degrees and all whatever. Yeah. But we're not like saying this is what you should do. These are our opinions. You need to seek professional help with the professional people that you can access. We're just sharing our opinions. So there's that.
Yeah. There was I went to some type of, I forget what it's like a group type of thing. It was Montgomery Federation of Families, and basically I met this girl, and I don't know if you guys have seen this Netflix video. It's like 13 Reasons. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, 13 Reasons Why. I met the girl herself, and they made it look like all cool.
So that was the best friend of the girl that I met, and so she was just talking, having a general conversation with me. She said she also wants to do it, so I have to find her number. I can't find it right now, but she was saying like, man, like me and the mom were just sitting there. We took our Xanax and were just sitting there trying to be calm during the graduation while the girl wasn't there. She said, I wish I did things differently with her. I wish I actually asked her, are you okay? Is everything okay? I wish I stood up for her. There were so many moments that I could have done things differently, and I did not. And so I think that goes to show what we're all trying to say in a sense. If you do see that happening with somebody, definitely, ask them, do you need help? Is there someone? This is what you can do. Sometimes 1 or 2 words that you say to someone can help somebody and help them change their thought process. And sometimes people are not aware that they have a mental problem, or they're not aware of what's going on with them. And if you see that happening, bring that awareness to that person in a calm way, of course, because you don't want to be a trigger to that person.
But you want to know something? There's actually a girl back in LA that I go to church with, and seems like your average day-to-day person, you know, and I wasn't serving that day. I wasn't volunteering. I just went in and sat in on service. Excuse me. And I sat next to this girl, and she was so friendly, you know, so kind. I was like, oh, like, this girl is super cool, you know. And she was like, oh, I volunteer here. I serve on this team, that team. I was like, oh, that's amazing. Like, and I was like, yeah, she was just really cool. And then a couple days later, my pastor was having a book signing at a Barnes and Nobles, and I ran into her there. I was like, hey, you're the girl I sat next to at church. I'm like, oh, we should like actually meet up on purpose one time. Like, let's go grab coffee, you know? And so we exchanged numbers. This girl seems seemingly normal, perfectly normal. We exchanged numbers. She starts texting me, oh, I got into it with so-and-so at the church. She physically assaulted me. And I was like, dang, like, that's crazy. Are you serious? Da, 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 da. I asked somebody about it. They're like, that's not true. I was like, oh. This girl's texting me, you will not believe it. I just got $1 million contract. I'm on set right now. I'll text you later. I was like, wow, like, that's amazing.
Manic.
Couple days later, I just found out that I have cervical cancer. Da, 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 da. Pray for me. I got you, girl. Praying for you. At this point, now when she just texts me, I just don't respond. Because she had told me, she was like, ha ha ha. She had said something about being crazy. She was like, I hope you don't stop texting me back. A lot of people stop responding when I tell them I have bipolar. I'm like, Lord Jesus Christ. Yeah. She was like, when I tell them that I'm bipolar, I'm like, okay. But I'm just like, I just tell them, like, girl, you need to relax and, like, you know, just don't be weird. And I want to have these conversations. Like, I really want to keep texting you back, but you're texting me a lot of strange things and it's putting me off. Can you stop? But I'm like, I'm not even trying to go there with the girl. I just stopped responding. And she still be texting me the craziest things. And I just see her, she's like, hey girl. You know, but it's like somebody that you would never think something's going on. So that's what I'm saying. Like, be wise and be discerning, but also know when to be hands off. Because I could think, oh, I need to press into this moment. I need to really reach out to her because, you know, people stop talking to her as soon as they disclose this. I'm like, this person's not safe.
Every battle is not your battle.
It's not my battle. You know, I'm going to love on you. Professional and she needs professional help. So it's
but
about
it's also
being
good
discerning.
to let the person know, like,
hey, it is not.
I think you...
With her, it's not good to know because I could see that it could be something.
It'll just be a trigger.
She might not be the friend for you.
And that's okay. She's not. And she's also not the person to have the sit down kumbaya, I think I need help, because she knows she does. I'm not telling you nothing that you don't already know.
So that's another, that brings up something else for me, because being that I'm in the medical field and I work with, I work in DC and everybody there is Christian. They don't take care of themselves because God is going to take care of them. And, you know, there's a lot of mental issues in the church. And I see this all day, every day.
Prayer's going to fix it.
God's going to fix this. No, it's still going, right? Yeah, 44. Yeah,
I don't remember seeing that.
Dang, we're at 53 minutes. Yeah.
Oh shoot, we need to
This can get. I love this conversation, but
that's another. Into 3 segments.
Yeah, we're gonna have to like post this.
I mean, there's gonna be things that you can edit out.
Yeah, that takes a lot of work. I'm chopping screwing into 3 pieces.
Chopping.
But mental health in the church. That's that's another topic, but. I feel like a lot of times the church masks mental health because it does. Because they feel like God is going to take care of everything. I have patients right now dying and not taking their medications because, and I have to tell them, God made providers to help you out.
That's the point that I was going to make. There was this analogy that I read. It's like, so a woman was drowning and she said, God's going to save me. So a person in the boat comes by. You know, she's like, no, God's going to save me. You keep going. Somebody throws a raft to her. She's like, no, I don't want this. God's going to save me. A scuba diver comes and helps her. She's like, no, I don't want this. God's going to save me. She drowns, goes to heaven, asks God, why didn't you help me? He's like, I sent 3 people to help you. And what people don't realize is that God and science can't exist. God blesses people to be gifted with medicine to help you. You don't have to choose between being well and being spiritual. And I think a lot of things why we see faith done the way that it's done is that people don't do religion well and don't read the Bible in the way, and if they do read it, they exhort it to other people in a way that's wrong. And so they live it wrong, and so people look at this and say God's this way, where it's like, no, people are doing religion wrong in this way.
So, what do you feel about this term toxic Christianity?
I don't hear it often. But I do believe there is such thing as toxic Christianity, and I do think that people wield the Bible as a weapon. And I do think that you cannot guilt trip people into a relationship with God. It only can be done with love, and even God says that himself. And as I was hearing you talk earlier about perfection, there's nowhere in the Bible God asks us to be perfect. If anything, he reminds us that you're not and you can't ever be. But I know that, especially growing up in church, it makes you jaded to God because of the things that people do. You were just preaching, but then when you get out, you're talking about sister so-and-so. You're my pastor, but I know that you cheat on your wife. So a lot of the things that we see people of God do, we attribute it to God himself. And it's like, it's not God. And I think more than anything, what I'm seeing done now is God's raising up a new generation of believers to be like, that's not, to tell a more accurate story of God. Because it just, back in the day, and even right now, it's just not being done in a way that's true to who he is. You know what I mean? And it's like, I don't blame you or anybody else, or because everybody has had their experiences, and I'm grateful that my experience with faith has been different. But I grew up in church, and the only reason, and when I grew up in church, I wasn't really like saved. When I was going to church every Sunday, I wasn't saved. It's only when I went out in the world, got my own experiences, fell on my face, that I realized I can't do this without God. And so it's like, I can't fault other people for not having had that experience. And I actually feel really bad for people who have, and not like a way where I look down on them, feel bad. It's like, it makes me feel like, dang, like that hurts me, that you didn't get an opportunity to meet God before people ruined it for you. You know?
So how about the ones that, like me, who I don't feel like people ruined it for me?
Maybe ruined it is the wrong word, but it's like, there's a scripture that says, oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. You've tasted it.
I know that song. There's a song about that.
Yeah, and it's like you've tasted it, and you yourself have decided that he's not good.
I don't think he's bad.
I don't think he's bad, but you don't think he's as good as you are as a God to yourself.
I don't look at it like bad, good. I just feel like that's what you believe in. And I think it's an amazing thing for you to believe in God. I just don't feel like it's something for me.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's not a bad thing, good thing. I don't look down on Christian. I don't think Christianity is bad at all. I think whatever is making you a great person and be great, that's great. And I love it. And I love you for having that, you know? And for me, whatever's making me a great person, we both are great people. Yeah. You great, I'm great. Yeah. We just have to find our greatness different ways. 100%. You found it in God, and I found it in wherever else, things. You know? So, no, I don't look down on anybody who believes in God. I think it's a beautiful thing, honestly. I feel it's beautiful wherever you find your passion and your drive for life. I think that's great. Go for it. And as long as you're not hurting anybody, you're not killing anybody, and this is making you the better person that you want to be, go for it. And so. And
I agree with that. And I feel like we should have the freedom to do that. Exactly. I feel like you should have the freedom to choose your own course in life. You know, just because we believe differently, I don't feel like I should have more of a right to speak on things than you, or more access to different areas of life, or even more access to healthy, loving relationship, you know, to happiness, to self-esteem. You know, this is how I found it. And like you said, as long as you find it, that's what really matters. And just being respectful of other people's decisions. And I think that's why I was so excited for you to come and have this conversation, because I know there's so many people on my platform who feel similar to you, you know, and don't know how to navigate that, you know what I mean, and are really juxtapositioning their faith and how it is that they feel, you know. And I feel like just to see people who they might think are polar opposites having these types of conversations, they can be done, and we can respectfully agree to disagree. You know, I don't think neither one of us are trying to change each other's mind. You know, we're both very firm on what it is that we believe, and we respect each other on that, and I love that. Yeah.
Well, let's all black women come together.
Let's have a brown girl hug. No, I'm joking.
Let's do it. We're not done though.
This
wait,
whole
there's one more
Oh wait, you got
right
one.
here.
Go ahead.
Okay,
we're gonna finish this bowl.
Really? We're
I saw
gonna be
this
here
on
for 2
Instagram.
hours. I'm gonna start it. Bye.
All right. So the question is, do you want to be married, and why? Yes, I do want to be married. I feel like it's very important to be married. I feel like it's also commitment to God, you know, and it's saying that, okay, we're going to do it the right way, the way you want it to be done, in a sense. I think it's also another form of commitment. It's showing that, okay, this is it. We're going to do this in the long run. And a lot of people may feel like, oh, is it just a show off or whatnot? I don't think in that sense. I feel like you don't necessarily have to be the two most perfect people. I feel like you don't have to be where you want to be in life completely in order, you know, you have to get married after all of those things are done. I feel like it can happen while you're both still growing, you know. Sometimes even that's even better at the same time. But I feel like there is so much more to marriage, and you have to have that understanding that it's not going to be always, you know, perfect and happy all the time. And, you know, if you do want to have kids in the future, It's not going to be all cute, fun, and happy. There's work with kids, there's work with marriage. So it's not going to be key all of the time. You have to understand that people are going to have their own perspectives. You're going to have moments where things might not be a certain way. But yes, I do want to be married. I do want to be at that point where there is that other level of commitment.
Okay. So my question says, it's not even a question, it's a statement. Instead, you're attracted to emotionally unavailable people who you have to alter, people who have to alter to because that's the only type of love you've ever known.
Repeat it again one more time.
Instead, you're attracted to emotionally unavailable people who you have to alter yourself for because that's the only type of love you've known. And that is 100% so true. In my case, I do find that I'm attracted to, or was attracted to, men who are emotionally unavailable because the way I saw love was performance-based. I felt like I had to do things, or be a certain type of person, or be the exact type of person that this person wanted me to be, and then they would love me. But I know that when I was a little kid, that's how I saw love. It's like, oh, you did good on your report card. You're so smart. Oh, you look really nice. You're so cute. It was always something that I would have to do, followed by, an example of love, or somebody complimenting me, or somebody congratulating me. It wasn't like I was having like a bad day and somebody would tell me, you're just the cutest little girl. Or I would do bad on my report card. My mom would still tell me that I'm intelligent. It was never, I didn't really get to see unconditional love done or being given to me. And so when I started dating men, it was kind of like that similar thing where it's like, as long as I'm being this type of girl, they want to be with me, as long as I'm, having fun and, keeping things light and all this stuff, then things are going good. But it's like, as soon as I stopped being the version of me that they liked, things wouldn't work out. And so to take it back to being with men that are emotionally unavailable, I think I used to attract that because it gave me something to do. It's like the way that I see love is like something that you do instead of it's something that you are and something that you give. And I can honestly credit my relationship with God that has taught me that that's not how love is. And that's since me learning about grace. Grace is undeserved favor. Grace is just God loving you because he loves you despite of your sin, despite of anything that you are, despite of who you are. God just loves you because he loves you, and that's it. And I didn't really understand that. I literally asked God, I'm like, because I used to have the type of relationship where it was religion, where I was religious. I'm like, okay, I did something bad. God doesn't like me anymore. Or I'm having a really good day today. God loves me even more. And God had to tell me, like, there's nothing that you could do to make me love you anymore. And there's nothing that you could do to make me love you any less. I don't love you in the way that you have experienced people love you. That's not the type of God that I am. I love you unconditionally, and I love you for no good reason at all. And once I realized that God loves me just as much as on my worst days as he did on my best days, that just set me free. And knowing that that's what I'm looking for in a person as well. And that's what I need to be able to offer to somebody else. And so since making that mindset, I'm not attracted to emotionally unavailable people because I'm a healthier person. So I have a healthier view on what love is, and I have a healthier view on the type of things and treatment that I deserve from somebody else. So that came with being healthy. And because I'm healthy, I'm not attracted to men who themselves are not mentally, physically, spiritually healthy. So,
love it.
Thank you.
What's your question?
My question was... What was my question?
I think it was like, do you feel safe with
men who does not have a relationship with God? For me, yes. But that's for me. I don't know how to elaborate on that, but yeah. Because I'm not Christian, or do I believe that God is what makes me feel safe? I don't. I can be.
You feel like that person will have a moral compass, regardless of I believe in God or not.
Yes. It's all about the person for me, and yeah, that's what it is for me. So yeah, I can be with somebody who doesn't have a relationship with God because I don't have a relationship with God, and I still feel like I'm a very healthy individual person, and I feel like he could be that same way, and I'm in a relationship like that right now. It's all perfect. It's actually the best I've ever been in. Yeah.
I think what's so great about that is the fact that you guys have that in common. Now, me trying to date a guy like that, I'd rip my hair out.
Exactly.
And he would try to kill himself. You know
that's
what
why
I mean?
I feel like it's all about a common ground. Yeah. And I feel like when it comes to Christianity, if you find somebody who's you want to find somebody who has that strong.
It's like that equally like yoked type of thing. Exactly.
And for me, you know, being that I don't label myself atheist or anything like that, but being a non-believer, I feel like it's important for me to have somebody who's also a non-believer.
You're equally yoked in that, you know? So yeah. I think that's important. Yeah. Whatever it is that you believe in, just find somebody who believes the same, and you can do your own thing but still walk on the same path. You don't want somebody that's all the way back on back street and you're walking front street. It's like, where are you going?
And I wanted to touch on your question, was the marriage questions for somebody who's not Christian. And do I still want to get married? Yes, I still want to get married. My marriage would probably be non-traditional. And I'm not desperate anymore. I'm not. You know, back then I was like, oh, I really want to be married. I want to be married today, by this age, by that. No, and right now I'm all about building a healthy friendship with my significant other, building a healthy relationship with myself and with him, and he's building a healthy relationship with himself and with me, and eventually one day, if that's meant to be, we will join in marriage. So yeah, I do want to get married, and I don't feel like marriage is the right or wrong thing to do. I just feel like you said, you felt like it was the right thing to do. I don't feel, for me, I feel like it's just about a commitment with that person. And some people don't want that commitment, and I think that's okay. Yeah.
Because not everybody wants to get married, guys. And that is, there's nothing like not saying about that. Like, oh, there's something wrong with it. Not everybody wants to get married, and guess what? Not everybody wants to have kids. I think both desires are healthy. And as long as you find somebody that has that same desire, you know, don't get with somebody that says that doesn't want to believe in marriage and then pressure them about marriage.
Exactly.
You know, like that just doesn't make any sense. You know, getting with somebody that you know doesn't want to have kids, and you tell yourself, well, I just won't have kids, but you know deep down that you want them, and you're sacrificing that just to
and it will come back and haunt you.
It will. You know.
I know plenty of people.
So I think with dating and relationships, what I feel like what I've gathered from this is just like, as long as you're on the same page with that person, you know, and that you're healthy emotionally and they're healthy emotionally, and that you guys both have two separate healthy lives that you can bring together. You know, that's what like seems to make lasting relationships, and we all have different versions of what a healthy relationship looks like. You know what I mean? But I feel like the common grounds that we have first starts with yourself. You know, taking care of yourself and
acknowledging how you feel.
Exactly. Taking care of your mental health and trying to be a good person in whichever way that you can. And I feel like when you're healthy, you can attract a healthy partner. Yeah,
sure. I do agree with that, because I feel like back in my days when I wasn't real with myself and I was being this fake form of Desi, I attracted BS. But since I've been this most positive and happy person, that's all I attract.
It's just good
coming my way, and positive people and people that's like-minded. So I definitely agree with that. I'm more of a happy, positive person. That's all that I attract, to be honest.
I love that. Thank you guys for coming and just eating dinner and just having this discussion.
I still need to finish eating.
Just to have the different perspectives. I feel like we basically answered all of the questions.
We did. We touched on everything. If we didn't answer all the questions, we definitely touched on everything.
And I feel like we probably would have spoken more. It felt like it didn't even take that long.
Yeah, the fact that it's almost midnight.
Yeah.
So
thank you for joining us.
I told you.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So thank you guys for like tuning in. As always, I'll leave her information. If you're comfortable, I'll leave your information. You can, you know, find them at their Instagram handles, and we'll just continue the conversation. Let us know what it is that you think or thought or whatevs, you know.
Mimi. And you can look over at Storytime. You can put Mimi Storytime -mental health. That usually helps. But I may have to change my name. There are a lot of Mimis out there.
And I don't know if I'm ready to share my information, but
you should.
Maybe.
I think you shared a lot of really great things.
Yeah, but I don't want. You remember what I talked about earlier?
I do, but I feel like
maybe my personal page.
Anybody that would be off put by that, it's like I wouldn't even want to work with them, because you're great outside of that. And anybody who would be not wanting to be around you because of that, somebody who's closed-minded and needs help.
I think like even just having this conversation, this discussion, like. I don't know if have you ever spoken to somebody who's I don't want to say I'm atheist, but
one of my really good friends is an atheist.
Okay, you have.
I am.
And I feel like
friends who are.
I mean, I feel like a lot of my friends who's Christian, they always have after speaking with me, they have a whole different.
No, I feel like
because
you are who you are. At the end of the day, everyone has their own life. Just like how you said, you have to live in your own truth. If you don't live in your own truth, then there's that chaos within you in a sense.
Exactly.
So once you're in your own truth, it doesn't even matter. And once you yourself know who you are, you're okay with people being who they are too. It's okay. You can't force people to be something else that they're not. You can't want people to do. You might wish someone to have the same perspective as you, but I think also maturity has a part to play in it. It's definitely.
If we weren't mature, we wouldn't be able to sit and have these types of conversations with one another. And like I just mentioned, one of my really good friends in LA, she's an atheist. You know, my roommate was agnostic, and so I'm around. I do my best to surround myself with people who believe different type of things, and it's not even like I go out of my way to do that. I feel like God's very careful to do that. You know what I mean? Because like I said, it's just the whole thing of, you know, restarting the narrative that has been Christianity, because it has a really bad name. It has a really bad reputation, has left a really bad history of hurt. And I feel like God's just doing something new. And the only way we can do that is to come out from amongst ourselves, come out from out the church being weird and being fake, but like being real, doing life and doing it well and loving on people regardless of how it is that they feel. So I actually have these types of conversations with people a lot, and so I'm really grateful that you came and I was able to have that with you.
Too, but when she called me and she was like, "Oh, she's Christian," I was like,
Well,
let's just make sure that you guys.
Can I cuss? Can I drink before I get there and get talking?
My boyfriend was like, "Well, if it start getting a little toxic, just make sure you go home." And I'm like, "Yeah,
before we have to fight at this table."
No, you know, I'm all about
guys,
positive.
I hope we can do this again sometime. Maybe next time we will be in California.
Yes, come to LA. Let's do this
again.
What?
No, I went. I was supposed to go for my birthday, and I just didn't want to go. And I just
you need to come.
Okay, then we definitely
come
need
to LA.
You
do
too.
We're gonna do this again. We're gonna have another brown table talk, and we'll go over it because I might be in a different relationship situation. Then who knows? You know, we'll see. But thank you guys. It's been great, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And yeah,
see you.
Bye.